Sup YouTube, it's Mondays with Kaeson. Okay, so this week's topic is about how I knew I was trans. So, I kind of always knew. I never knew it was called being transgender. Like, I had never heard the term before, so I didn't know that. But, like, I always knew I was a boy. Like, always. I never doubted that. Like, I mean, I know there were times where I wasn't sure, but now that I look back, I always knew. It's kind of one of those things, like, when you're going through something, you question it, but hindsight is 2020. And mine is perfectly 2020, because I always knew. When I was a little kid, I used to try and pee standing up, and I would, sit on the toilet backwards so that I could feel more like a boy. And I would always try and get out of wearing dresses. Like, I would cry if my mom made me wear a dress. I think the only outfit that I had that I actually liked was my overalls. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so everyone wore overalls. Well, I used to have dreams when I was a kid that, like, I was just going to wake up one day and I was going to be a boy. And I always thought that that was normal. I thought everyone did that. Turns out they don't. And I really am a boy. So, I know especially, like, when I hit puberty, which I hit really early for most people. And, I used to, like, hate my body. And I used to just think, one day it's okay. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to stop growing in the chest area and I'm going to grow down below and that's going to be fine. And it never happened. I didn't know. I think I first heard the word transgender when I was like 17 or 18. I was really late in life about that, finding out like what it was. And, it just kind of stuck with me, like, what the hell is a transgender? And so one day I just got on Google and was like, transgender definition, and they were like, someone wanting to switch from biological to preferred gender, and I was like, holy shit, that's me! And then after that, I was just kind of like, I'm trans. Actually didn't come out then, but, I just always knew. I couldn't figure out, like, why I preferred, like, video games over shopping and, stuff like that. Like, I felt like a guy. I acted like a guy. Therefore, I'm a guy. I hope that makes sense to somebody. But yeah, like, I just always knew it. I just never felt right with my body. I always felt uncomfortable with the way I looked. Every time I was called by my birth name, it just made me feel like, ugh, stop calling me that. And it was just so, I guess, I don't know, like, I used to actually get, like, physically sick whenever people would call me she, or whenever that time, you all know what I'm talking about, came every month. I would literally get physically sick because I just couldn't deal with the fact that I'm a guy. Why is this happening to me? Why are people calling me that? Why are they calling me she and ma'am? And why do people keep calling me fucking cupcake? Like, I fucking hate that. Dude, I don't care who you are. If you work at a gas station, stop calling people sweetheart. It doesn't matter if they're a girl or not. Do not call people sweetheart. It's just weird. And it just always bothered me when people would do that. And it never really made sense to me. I lost my train of thought. I don't know. I do that very often, but I'm going to try and remember, so give me literally 3 seconds. Count for me. Okay, so yeah, I always, like, preferred to have shorter hair versus long and pretty girly hair. I can count on one hand the times I've ever worn makeup, and I cried. Both times that I ever wore makeup. I tried really, really, really hard to be a girl. When I was in high school, you know, I would wear a dress to, like, I wore a dress to prom, and I wore a dress to a military ball, and, what else did I wear a dress to? I think I wore a dress at my mom's wedding, and every time, like, I would cry. Like, I wore jeans underneath every dress I've ever worn, just so that I can feel better. Like, when I was a kid, when all my boy cousins were going, you know, through puberty and all of that, you know, they were the ones that were older than me, I would always be like, I don't understand why they get to do certain things and I don't. And I always made this comment, well, if I was a real boy, you would treat me like such and such. And they would be like, no, you're a girl. And I would argue with them and be like, no, I'm not. I'm a boy. How come I can't be a real boy like them? And they just didn't seem to understand. They always just blew me off about it. And, but yeah, like I always knew. People didn't know, but I always knew. Even if I didn't know what it was called. So, chances are, if you think you're trans, you probably are. Otherwise, why would you have any reason to think you're trans? I don't know. That's just my opinion, guys. This is just my story. I'm not going to say it applies to everyone. Some people don't know when they're kids. Some people think about it and then decide they're not. I don't know. But hopefully I helped somebody out there. And whatever your story is, guys, we love you. So keep coming back and watching the videos. Bye. See you next week.